that? Can't drive at night, sleeping in his brother's basement. Defense saying he also had a motive, a monetary motive. All of this brings us to the next question in our investigation. Does Corey Caneiro need to testify? His name keeps popping up during the course of the case. Joining me, attorney and psychologist Dr. Jean Cirillo is with us, and still with us, New Jersey criminal defense attorney Mario Gallucci. Mario, what are your thoughts here? Does Corey Caneiro need to get on that witness stand?
So I think it's very interesting that Monica, in her opening statement, basically did what we call confirmation bias, meaning that the detectives had a suspect immediately, took all of the evidence, concentrated every bit of that evidence towards that suspect, and didn't pay really much attention to any other suspect that could possibly be there. So as a criminal defense attorney, sometimes you know, in a case like this, I don't even think there was a plea bargain. So you have a client that has nothing to lose by going to trial. And as a defense attorney, sometimes you go into a trial with a pen and a pad. And in this case, Monica, in an opening statement, and you should do an opening statement, knows that she has to say something. The jury wants you to say something. And I think her theory of confirmation bias is the best theory she had at this point. And there are facts that do substantiate that maybe they should have paid more attention to Corey. Why was he living in the basement? Will they call him as a witness? I doubt it. I think that they need to try to get on everything they can when the prosecution's on their case without calling Corey.
All right. Dr. Jean Cirillo, what are your thoughts here? Does Corey Caneiro need to testify? If I'm in the jury box, I'm like, somebody's got to call this guy. You keep talking about him. I want to hear from the third brother.
Third brother, probably including the jury, and the defense has the best chance of showing reasonable doubt that the police failed to investigate another potential criminal. They didn't do deep DNA or any other thorough investigation, at least as far as we know, on Corey. It was all focused on the one that they felt, as Mario said, confirmation bias. They already had decided that Paul was the guilty one. And it shows tunnel vision, and the defense doesn't have to prove innocence. They just have to inject reasonable doubt that another party could have done it. He had access to the same financial records, especially if he was living in the basement. He had needs too, so we can't rule him out, and we can't rule him out as a second party or an accessory.
Mario, let me ask you, I'm from New Jersey originally. That's where I practiced. The jurors in New Jersey, they're skeptical. Who are they going to hold responsible if he doesn't take the stand? Like, who would get the brunt of it, prosecution or the defense?
So if I was Monica Mastalone, in my summation, I would stand up and say, if they don't call him, where is Corey? If Corey is not a problem, why did they not call him? We know this about Corey, it came out in evidence. We know that about Corey, it came out in evidence. If none of that is true, why did we not hear from him? So I think Monica is looking forward to them not calling him because she could use it in her summation. It's very easy summation to do with confirmation bias.
So the defense will not put him up there. All right, Dr. Jean Cirillo, to me it's always about the jury, right? And I've seen this in many cases we've covered through the years, that there are obvious witnesses that keep coming up that never make it to the witness stand. And I feel like it's like our system is almost letting us down. Like we bring these people in and want them to tell us the truth, but we don't give them all the facts. Why does our system work that way?
The defense seems to be using Corey more as a shadow figure, as somebody who could have done it. But, you know, they could also call him as a witness, but it would be risky because the prosecutor would probably aggressively cross-examine him. And if he said some good things about himself, if he had a good alibi, and he showed his innocence, then he would be off the hook completely. Whereas if they don't call him, there's always the possibility that he might have been in there. Don't forget, there were 2 men at one point seen on the video cameras, and they don't know who the second one was. They haven't yet identified him.
You know, the one thing, Mario, I'm a former prosecutor, that I would do with Caneiro, because this whole thing about him not driving at night, like, on the one hand, if he actually doesn't drive at night, I want the jury to make sure that they know that he didn't make that up to create some sort of alibi for himself, that it couldn't have been me because I don't even drive at night. So to me, that is just hanging out there, and I think it needs to be resolved for prosecutors.
Oh, I agree completely with you, but the defense isn't going to call him. They don't have to call him. But if I was the prosecutor, I would absolutely call him, unless there's a way that they could get that evidence out before the jury without calling him.
All right. Big thanks, Mario Gallucci. I mean, amazing job you did in the courtroom. Everyone was talking about it here in the newsroom, and great to have you on the show tonight. Dr. Jean Cirillo is sticking around. Coming up next, did Paul Caneiro's accident impact his behavior?
Give me the login, Paul. Give me the login, Paul.
Tragic murder of Keith Caneiro and his entire family.
This one is the most brutal case that I've seen in my